I'm Chris, and welcome to our very first episode of Kids Exploring East Asia, here on the Serve Asia podcast. Together, we're going on an exciting adventure, seeing the sights and meeting the people of this amazing part of the world. East Asia is a big place with billions of people, so let's get going. Our first stop is China. As we fly over today, let me introduce you to this incredible country. China is huge. It's the third largest country in the world by land area, which means it's about 40 times the size of the UK. From the east to the west of China, you could make a journey of nearly 4,000 miles. That's further than flying from New York to Paris. Around 1.4 billion people live in China. That's 1,4,0,0,0,0,0,0,0. And it's roughly a seventh of everyone in the world, and twice as many people as live in all of Europe. Many of these people live in China's megacities. Megacities are where more than 10 million people live. That's more people in one city than live in Austria or Hungary. And it's right that they call them megacities, isn't it? And China has 17 megacities: Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou, to name just 3. Why not get out a map and see if you can find some of them? In these cities, you'll find incredible modern skyscrapers. But if you look closely at the ones still being built, you'll see they're often surrounded by scaffolding made from bamboo. You'll even find some cities in China built to look like famous places from elsewhere in the world, such as Paris and Venice. And how are we going to get around in China while we're here? Well, joining these cities together is the world's second largest railway network, with enough track to go around the world more than twice, and with more super fast, high-speed trains than the rest of the world put together. China is huge, as I've said, and its population is huge. And there is also a huge church in China. Do you know there are millions of people in China who are followers of Jesus? But sadly, there's still over 1 billion people who don't follow Jesus, who aren't Christians. And there's many millions of people in the country who have never heard anything about him at all. As well as China being huge, China is also old. Today's China is a fascinating place full of modern marvels. But the history of China's people stretches back thousands of years. And loads of incredible inventions like paper, gunpowder, the compass, maybe even your toothbrush, all seem to have been invented in this amazing land. Let me tell you about 3 amazing historical artefacts from China's past. $1 million vases. 600 years ago, China was ruled by the emperors of the Ming dynasty. During this time, some of the most famous vases in the world were made. If your mum likes flowers for her birthday, maybe you could save up and get her a beautifully painted ceramic Ming vase, huh? There's only one problem. The one I've got here. Wow, it is beautiful. Recently sold at auction for $22 million. Moving on. Maybe flowers aren't really your thing. So what about playing soldiers? China also has a famous collection of old soldiers known as the Terracotta Army. Terracotta is a reddy brown clay. And these soldiers are statues, and there's over 6,000 of them. They were created by the first emperor of China in around 200 BC. And they were buried with him in his incredible tomb. And they remained buried until they were discovered. By accident. Some local farmers were digging in their fields in the 1970s. How crazy is that? One day, you're out digging on your farm, and you accidentally discover one of the most incredible, famous historical marvels of your ancient country. Last but not least, on our amazing historical artefacts list, what about the Great Wall of China? And this combines being old with being huge. The wall is about 13,000 miles long. And most of what we see today of the Great Wall of China is 400 to 700 years old. Like those vases, it was built during the Ming Dynasty, though similar walls have existed as China's borders since around 200 BC, around the time those terracotta soldiers were being made. Now, you may have heard that you can see the Great Wall of China from the moon. Well, this isn't actually true, because although the wall is very long, it isn't actually very wide, so you can no more see the Great Wall of China from up there than you can the road that runs through your town. Fortunately, I do have an amazing Great Wall of China fact for you. Those huge stone blocks in the wall, they're not held together with sand and cement, like the bricks and walls of your house. In fact, the mixture they used involved rice and a substance called lime. No, not the fruits, that are hard, rocky stuff dug out of the ground. Well, we've flown over thousands of years of history there. So once you finish listening, why not go and see what else you can find out about China's past? So China is huge, and China is old, and finally for today, China is exciting. Because of its size, China has just about everything. It has mountains for skiing and snowball fights, and deserts for, well, whatever you do in deserts. And tropical rainforests for, use your imagination. And as well as the giant modern megacities we've talked about, it also has small villages where time seems to have stood still. China is home to some incredible animals, delicious foods, and a wonderful mix of people. I am so excited to be taking you on a tour of this incredible nation, so do come back for part 2 of the journey through China, here on Kids Exploring East Asia, with me, Chris. I'll speak to you soon.